Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. A classic from Tom Petty today. We're going to learn how to do Mary Jane's Last Dance. So it's pretty simple kind of chord work in this one, even though there's kind of a lot of variations going on and hammer-ons and all this stuff, kind of embellishments being added to the chorus. So I'll cover all those. We'll go through that and we'll go through both of the solos as well. So I hope you guys will join me along the ride. Now please, before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring that little notification bell if you have not already, so you'll know when I release a new video, and so you can like and comment the videos and help me out and stuff, the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you really want to help out what I do here on YouTube with all these free song lessons, check out my Guitar Academy. I couldn't do all this without my Academy. So the link in the description, I give you a free 7-day trial to it. And my Academy contains all my guitar courses containing, you know, a bunch of stuff. Covers a bunch of topics like a complete beginner course and more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone, you name it, it's there. Plus you get personalized support from me. So please go check it out. It'll really help me out. So let's jump into the song. I'm in standard tuning, but this one's actually, in the original recording, it's not exactly an A440 though, so it might sound a little bit off when you're playing along with it, but you know, we deal with that a lot of times from music from the analog era. So we have this kind of like, so let me show you what's going on first. So we have some variations, and he kind of does them randomly throughout the song. So feel free to do it yourself. If you see him do it live, he doesn't really kind of copy exactly what he does on the album. And I'm pretty much sticking with, I know Mike Campbell does a lot of kind of overdubs over this. I'm not really focusing on those. Kind of really just the chords that Tom Petty's playing, kind of the foundation of everything, and you know, and the solos and stuff. Even though I will take a look at the stuff that Mike Campbell does during the chorus. So we'll start here. We're going to start with this just kind of spaced around an A minor chord. So let's just learn the chords first. We have an A minor. And then it goes to a G major. Now the version of the G major that you're going to play is the one with the open B string there. So G string, the voicing with the open B, not this one. This is more cowboy. All right, and then to a D major, and then back to an A minor. So it's an A minor, G, D, A minor progression, then it starts everything over. So that's the bare bones of what this is all based around. Now, the intro of the song and during he kind of simplifies a little bit more when he's doing the verse, when he's actually singing. But you're going to start with this. So we start with like a hammering on. You hit the open D and the G, and you hammer on the second fret there on the G and the D together to lead into that A minor. Then hit the regular A minor. And then we go to that G chord. And it's really kind of chugging the low E string a couple times before it hits the full chord. All right? Now here, when we get to the D chord, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hammer on, kind of hit the open G and B, and hammer on those two notes. Then strum the full chord. And then back to the A minor. So we have this. All right, now we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to do the same little hammer on that starts the riff again on that A minor. But when we hit the full chord, we're going to add the G to make it an A minor 7. So you're going to add that third fret on the high E string. And then to the G chord again. And then once again with that hammer. So it's 2 times through the chord progression, and we just did a slight variation the second time. Right here. All right, then then as he continues playing through it, he won't do those hammers every time. He'll just kind of play the chord normally. And then when we get to the D chord, instead of hammering on, the transition you're going to hear more often now as the song keeps going is he starts the D chord, kind of the low, a lot of times he's hitting the kind of the bass note of the chord first. But then he strums the chord, and he has the open high, so it's a D sus2 to begin with, and then he hammers on that second fret on the high E. So he's hammering on that note in the D chord, so it looks like this when he does that version of it. Back to A minor, A minor 7. So those are the various variations that was a redundant comment, of kind of how, what he does here. So you can randomly combine all this. So you can do the hammer, then the hammer there, then the A minor 7, maybe the high E string hammer there, or you're just hammering the top note down the D chord after you hit the root note a couple times. So just like this. So I'm just randomly doing whatever variation I want to do, that A minor, the 7, or the hammer on, or the G doesn't really have a variation on it. And then the D, you can do that one, then strum the G, the full D, or just strum, just do a hammer on, hit it a couple times, then hammer on to the top note. So that's what's going on during the intro and during the whole verse sections of the song. So just feel free to do what you want with it. But at least now when you hear him do a certain lick or whatever, you know it's going to be one of those things. All right, then we get to the chorus, which looks like this. So Tom Petty's part of the chorus is this. So I don't know the words. I'm not a word person, so I got too many notes in my head to think of words. So anyway, my fiance says the same thing. No words, too many notes. All right, so we have E minor to an A major. Then back to the E minor, and back to the A major, and then end it with a G. So we have this. Let's repeat that. Then end it with the G. All right, so what does Mike Campbell do during that part? Well, we have basically, you can start with the same chords, but then he does these fills when you get to the A major chord, like this. All right, so what are those fills when you get to the A? So we're just doing inversions of an A major triad there. So over the A major chord, if you're a member of my academy, you know these chord voicings that he's playing. You know all your A's and B's and C's and D's, whatever, all over the neck. So we have a bar across the 5th fret of the high E and the B. And then the C sharp here at the 6th fret on the G string. So that's the first voicing of it. So that's a first inversion voicing of an A major triad on these top 3 strings. And then he just takes it up to the second inversion voicing of A major, which is, looks like a D major chord, but up here with the 9th fret. So it's 9th fret on the G, 10th on the B, 9th on the high E. And then up to the root position shape of the A triad on those, which is 14th on the G and the B, and then 12 on the high E. So he's doing this. So after that, and then back to the E minor and A again. And when he gets that A, he does this. So he's just kind of just taking doing a 6th, kind of doing the outside notes of that A major inversion that we did of the second version. Up here, sliding up to the 9th fret on the G and playing the 9th on the high E with it. And then take that and down to the 7th fret. So that'll outline a G major triad, but it's just the 2 outside notes. So that happens when Tom Petty's playing that G at the end of the chorus. All right, so then we go through the, we check out, where are we at here? All right, so then we go through the same verse, and then we get to the same chorus again, which has the same fills from Mike Campbell. So Tom Petty does the exact same thing, but we have this same. We have this little different ending. So that's a little different ending than the. So that right there is just playing this, a bend at the 4th fret on the G, and then playing 5 on the high E string, pick that 4 on the G, release, and then we're going to resolve it down to. Now the chord you're hearing at the end is a result of Tom Petty playing the open B version of the G chord, and then Mike Campbell playing a different voicing like this, where you can actually hear the D note in there. So you hear that note and you hear the B, and you hear the notes. So you hear an open B, not this. So anyway, so that chord we have like that. It's just that bar across the 3rd fret of the B and the high E, 4th fret on the G, 5th fret on the D. All right, and now after that, we get to Mike Campbell's solo. So there's a couple solos. I believe Tom Petty's playing the second one. At least he is live, so I'm going to call it Tom Petty's solo. So we're going to take a look at Mike Campbell's first. I'll show you how to play this, and then I'll show you, I'll play it first, and then I'll show you how to play it note for note. So here we go. All right, so that's going to start with this kind of thing that you'll hear later on in front of Tom Petty's solo too. So that's just some double stops at the 7th fret on the G and the B. Kind of, you could use 2 fingers, which I like to do. Kind of, it's cleaner. Or you can just do it with your 3rd finger, like most people would do it that way. So we have this 7th fret on the G and the B. You kind of bend them down, release. Pull off to the 5th fret on the G and the B, over to 7 on the D, back to the 5 on the G and the B, and then back to the 7s, and do a slight bend there. So we have this. Then we kind of start the same riff again, but instead of going to the 7s at the end, we're just going to resolve it to the 7th fret on the D string. So we have this. Now, when you do this 5, you can bend those 2 there. So we have this. Repeat. So now we go into the actual solo. So it looks like this. So that starts when you, this double stop here at the 5th fret across the B and the high E. So we got that going first. Then you're gonna slide up to this 8th fret there on the B string, I'm sorry, the G note. And then as you hit the open G string with, so we have this. Then you're gonna play 8 on the B string and hammer 10, but while you do that, you're gonna do it as a double stop as well while having the open high E string ring the entire time over it. So you're hitting the high E string each time you hit the B string. So you hammer that 8 to 10, and then hit 10 again, and then hit it again, slide to 12, then back to 10. Really kind of picks across those 2 strings a little bit, so we have this. Then you take that and slide it down to 5. You still have the open high E string with it. And then we just have this. Oh, sorry. Oh. That's it. So we have this hammer 3 to 5, then slide down to 3, and then play hammer 1 to 3, pull back off to 1, or pick 1 actually. So it, then open G, 2nd fret on the G. So all together. All right, so then after that, we go back through the same verse section again, the same chorus, so really nothing changing here. And then we get to Tom Petty's solo, which really kind of ends the track. So I'll play through that real quick for you, and then I'll show you how to play it phrase by phrase. All right, so it starts with that same little figure as Mike Campbell's solo did. And then it even starts with the same double stop at the 5th fret across the B and the high E. Then, so that's a bend at the 8th fret on the B string into the 5th fret on the high E. And he slowly stops, kind of doesn't bend it as far until it's now completely between 5 and 8 on the B string. Just like that. And then you play 5 with the high E string again. You need to play the 8 and slide it up to the 10. So you play that a couple times, let it ring. And then he grabs the 8th fret on the high E string with it. So we have this. And then we have this. So that's sliding into the 9th fret on the G string. And then over to the 8th fret on the B, back to the 9th fret on the G, and back to the 8th fret on the B. Then pick that 7 on the G, slide it down to, 9 on the G, slide down to 7, pull off to 5, over to 7 on the D. So now here, it kind of sounds like it's, you hear that, when you also hear that kind of thing overdub with it again. So it sounds good just to go back to that. Anyway, so it's, it's kind of a pretty basic solo, just kind of around A minor pentatonic, but got a cool vibe about it, and it kind of closes out the song pretty well. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is a great song, a couple of cool solos, some good guitar parts in it. It's classic. I mean, everybody knows it. You got to know it. All right, I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.